So this is the all-new Nothing Phone 4B, like B for budget. And this was a proper surprise getting this unannounced in the studio, but after using it as my daily Android for the past week and a half now, I think I do understand who this phone is actually for. And first thing you notice, this is a nothing device straight away. It borrows the same elements as the 4A Pro, but also that glyph matrix that we got on the 4A. But it comes with a plastic opaque black panel. For the record, very quickly, the 4B is 214 grams, 4A Pro 212, and the 4A is 206. So on paper, the 4B is actually the heaviest of the three, which sound backwards for the cheapest phone, but in your pocket or in your hand, you generally cannot feel the difference. A few grams here and there just isn't something you're gonna feel in your hands straight away. And as you saw up front, they all got the same 6.7-inch AMOLED display, 120 Hz, but this one, the B, 389 pixels per inch. So that's closer to a 12% drop from the 4A Pro, and that's a trend you're gonna see across the whole phone. You still get an under-display fingerprint sensor, still a great stereo speaker, still HDR10+, and still an under-display front camera, though it's 16 megapixels here, not the 32 megapixels of the A variant. Now, about that resolution drop, day to day, watching YouTube, scrolling TikTok, Instagram, texting, I never once thought I need more pixels here because nobody's checking the screen with a microscope, except I did. I put both screens under a microscope. You can generally see a little bit of a difference. The 4A Pro shows this fine, dense, tighter pack pattern, almost like a woven diamond grid. The 4B pattern is a little bit bigger, a little bit more spread out, and a coaster checkerboard style. That's the pixel density difference, made visible. So yes, the difference is real, of course, but it's not just something you will even notice using both devices, just looking straight at them if you don't got a microscope. And brightness took a hit too. On the 4B, come at 1200 nits, that mostly you're not gonna feel at all, or if you are outside, direct sunlight, where you really need that brightness. Now, internally, this is a proper nothing phone. Nothing OS 4.1, same dot matrix widgets everywhere, same clean layout, same design language all across the software. Nothing got cut here at all. And if you have ever used any recent nothing phones, you feel instantly like you're at home with this one. It's still the whole cleanest, most nonsense versions of Android you are gonna get right. And you know that trend I was speaking? Well, internally it's really the Snapdragon 6 Gen 4. 8 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage. When you compare it to the 4A, in Geekbench, that works out at 14% slower single core and 12% slower multi-core performance. Those are just numbers. In the real world, nobody is pushing the phone that hard every single day. And I think this is exactly the right move for a brand that the whole philosophy was always being about doing more for less. And you may have realized a pattern because nothing been doing this numbers and letters thing for a while now. We had the phone 1, then the phone 2, the phone 2A, phone 3, and 3A. This time around, they skip straight to the 4A and the 4A Pro with no plain 4.4. The letters tell you the grade where a phone sits on the lineup. And the A phone have always been the budget grade. This is the first time they have introduced the B. These phones feel like nothing. It's pulling that low end back to the own roof. Instead of leaving it into a completely different branding, no longer fully controlled. This is not nothing trying to beat the own phone. It's nothing trying to compete with everyone else cheap phones on their own terms. And camera-wise, you get the same two main sensors as the 4A and the 4A Pro. 50 megapixel main sensor and an 8 megapixel second lens. What's missing is that third lens, that periscope lens that soon that both bigger phones have. So the cut here isn't the everyday camera. It's losing the option to zoom in front of the distance. In good light, the main sensor still hold up well, literally one-to-one comparison to the 4A Pro. Basically, it's the same sensor in the same LED. And one thing that didn't went down at all, it went up. It's the battery. 5,200 milliamps hour here versus 5,080 milliamps on the 4A Pro. Yes, that's a 2% small increase. It's the one specification on the whole phone that have improved instead of shrunk in a way. And there's only one configuration here, 8GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. And it comes in at £299 or 329 euros. You get a choice of 3 colors, black, white or blue. And if you ask me, that is a genuine contender for budget phone of the year 2026. So that is the Nothing Phone 4B. The real question is whether Nothing just built the best phone of the year or they just, diluted their own brand. Just let me know in the comment section below because I'm really curious. And just remember now, you down there, if you're not subscribed, just subscribe so you don't miss the full review on the Nothing Phone 4B. This full review is coming. Subscribe, it's completely free. But for now, I'm Tech. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one, guys. Adios.